G'day Couch Critics fans, it's been a while since we've posted a video, but don't worry, we're back. Well, I'm back at least. Samuel's not here today, and we're not on the couch, we're doing something a little bit different today. I'm out here at the Proctor Park playing fields in Bathurst, and I'm going to be talking to you about the Western Premier League. That's the local top tier competition out here in the Central West of New South Wales, and today in this video we're going to run through and profile the 9 clubs that will be competing in the competition this season. A little overview of the competition. There'll be 9 teams competing in this year's competition, 2 more from last year. Last year was the first time we had the competition played in the Central West since 2012. We've got 3 teams in Dubbo, 1 in Parkes, 2 in Orange, 1 in Bathurst and 1 in Mudgee and Lithgow. And we're going to run through those 9 clubs right now in no particular order. Actually, there will be a particular order. We'll be doing them in alphabetical order. The first club we're going to start with talking about now is Barnstonworth United from Orange. Now you might think that's a bit of an odd name. Is there a suburb in Orange called Barnstonworth? Well, no, there actually isn't. It's named after a sitcom, Ripping Yarns, a British show from the 1970s. It's named after a comedy show. Here's a little bit of footage from that show and where they get their inspiration from.
Right-o, come over here, lads. Right. Hello, lads. I want to talk about the tactics for Saturday.
He's got my shorts on.
What?
Roger Itfield's got my shorts on.
Now then.
Can I go at 6:30?
Yes. Now then. Saturday, as you all know, is Cup Tie Day.
Well, what do you need to know about Barnstonworth United? Like I said, they're from Orange. They play their games at Sir Jack Brabham Park out in the southern side of Orange. They're coached by Josh Ward. He used to coach the Western New South Wales Football Club women's team, so he brings a wealth of experience to the club. Barnstonworth have also recruited a pretty handy player this season in Brendan Riley, who brings a bit of experience from playing for Wollongong United in the Illawarra Premier League down in the Wollongong area. Last year, Barnstonworth finished 5th out of 7 teams, just outside the top 4, missing out on a final spot on the last day of the season, with results not going their way. The next team we're looking at now is Dubbo Bulls. They are our reigning champions, winning the grand final last year. And in fact, they had won the 2010, 2011 and 2012 competitions. Those were the last 3 competitions before the competition was revived last year. So technically, they've won, 4 in a row. They finished the regular season in 2nd position, and they play their games at both Lady Cutler Oval and Hands Club and Oval up in Dubbo. They'll be surely one of the teams to beat this year, so expect them to be right up the pointy end of the ladder come finals time. For our next team, we now go to Lithgow Workmen's from, you guessed it, Lithgow. They play their games at Marjorie Jackson Oval, yes, named after the former Olympian. But it is a football field, and they are coached by Brad Luca. Interesting about Workies, they were the only team in Western Premier League last year to go through the entire home season undefeated. They were undefeated in all 6 home games. Obviously, away from home was a bit more hard work for Lithgow, and their home form kind of let them down last year. They eventually went out in the semi-finals to Macquarie United 6-0, and this year they'll be looking to go further after that 4th place finish last season. The next team we want to talk about now is Macquarie United. Now, if you're familiar with football out here in the Central West, there are in fact 2 Macquarie Uniteds, one from Dubbo and one from Bathurst, but we're focusing on the Sky Blue of Dubbo. They're coached by Paul Grain, and last season they were the minor premiers of the competition. Many people tipped Dubbo United to finish last. Myself, maybe not last, but I didn't expect them to go as well as they did to go on and win that minor premiership. Unfortunately, they did lose the grand final to Dubbo Bulls 2-1, but still they're an exciting team. Well, at least last season they were an exciting team. Had a lot of youngsters. Jesse Spang, the competition's top goal scorer, has now moved on to Sydney, so that's a big loss for Macquarie United. Will they go back and make the grand final again and win the minor premiership? Time will tell, but expect some good things to come out of Macquarie United again. One of our new boys to the competition, Mudgee Wolves. They haven't played any kind of football since 2019. The whole club went into hiatus last year in all forms of grades due to the coronavirus pandemic, but they're back and they're ready to rip in. They've got 3 guys coaching them, and I can't remember all 3 of them on the top of my head, so I will have to look at my notes. They have Harry Hall, Jason Payne and Chad Bowmaker coaching them. Mudgee's keen. They've got a new logo. They've got a fresh new kit. They're ready to go. They'll be playing their games at the Glen Willow Regional Sports Stadium, and they'll be a tough one. It's a big trip to go to Mudgee, and they'll be looking to make their home ground into a bit of a fortress. On the other side of things, it's a bit of a trip away from Mudgee for the club. Big trips to Dubbo, big trips to Bathurst, especially Parks as well. Really, their local neighbours. Lithgow is down the road, over an hour's drive. They'll be doing a lot of travelling, but they'll be giving it their all. Our next club, Orana Spurs from Dubbo. They play their games at both Hands, Clutherton Oval and Lady Cutler Oval. They play in red and blue stripes, and last season they finished second last in 6th. No doubt this team will be looking to improve after poor runner results this year. They'll be coached by Benjamin Mason and Jared Corby. Fun fact about Orana Spurs, alongside Dubbo Bulls and Orange Waratahs, the next team we're going to talk about, they are one of only 3 teams in this competition to have won the WPL in both its current and former format. Our next club, like I said, Orange Waratahs, new to the competition. Alongside them and Mudgee, they are the 2 new teams joining the competition last year. They sat out the WPL last season because of COVID, yet they still played in their local Orange competition and smashed it. They dominated the competition, winning the grand final against Sims quite convincingly. They're a bit of, like Mudgee, they'll be a bit of unknowns. We've seen some mixed results in trials from Orange, but they've got a really handy captain coach in Adam Scamoni, the former Western New South Wales football NPL captain. He'll bring a lot of experience, a lot of professionalism to the club. Waratahs will also be one of those teams looking to build up a good reputation at home. They have their own home ground at Waratahs Sports Ground up in the north of Orange. And so they'll be really trying to make it a fortress, make it a really difficult place for clubs to go to. Tars, like I said, smashed it in the grand final last year in Orange. Big step up to WPL now. Time will tell how they go to adapting to the high level of competition. The next club we'll be looking at here is Panorama Football Club, the one and only team from Bathurst this year, and they'll be playing right here at Proctor Park. They'll be playing in their full red strip shirts and black shorts, and yep, they'll be looking to improve after a 3rd place finish last year, missing out on the grand final by a single goal to Dubbo Bulls. Panorama, they won't be resting on their laurels. They'll be wanting to improve. They've lost a few players, but they've brought in a few. They'll be coached this year by Brent Osborne. Last year's coach, Ricky Gayo, who stepped into the playing boots. And Brent, we might see a run from him as well. Our last club we're going to be looking at here is Parks Cobras, and already being talked about as a potential dark horse for the competition. However, last season they did finish in 7th with the wooden spoon, but in that season there were still some hopes, some really good wins away from home, especially against the eventual champions, Dubbo Bulls. They're both coached by Megan Kempson, and listen, this team, they're ready, they're ripping to go, and they're looking to really give it to the other clubs across the region. Like Mudgee, Parks will be one of the bigger travellers of the season. Close games, nearby games are probably Orange and Dubbos, and they're still well over an hour's drive. But even though they finished last season, they were never disgraced. They gave it their all in all their games, and so expect Parks to have a really good season, a much improved season, and you know, they might crack a final spot. Anyway, that's my wrap on the clubs competing in the Western Premier League. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you learnt something new about football out here in the Central West. The season will be kicking off on Friday night under lights at Waratahs Sports Ground in what should be a really spicy game. Orange Waratahs versus Barnstonworth United. Last time the 2 teams clashed at this level, it was the 2019 Orange local first grade competition, and boy, that was a really heated grand final. So expect a really exciting game on Friday night. It will be live streamed through YouTube, so make sure you check that out. I'll put the links in the comments for that channel where you can watch that game live. And there'll be quite a lot of hopefully there'll be a lot more games streamed live throughout this season, and I'll send the link to the Western Premier League Facebook page in the comments, where hopefully the games will be streamed as well. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.